This is literally the last thing they sent me. The headset, the Yeti, I think they're, or sorry, not Yeti. I believe this is the Pro X2 headset. So one of the things I like about Logitech is they're always releasing new products. The ObSpot Tiny 2. The ObSpot Tiny 2. I don't think I've heard of them. That sounds like it's probably something fancy and above the pay grade of what I've ever... You need a new webcam? There's a lot of webcams out there these days. But yeah, I got the Pro X2 headset. It's my favorite wireless headset I've ever owned. Yeah, anyways. Yeti X. So I had the XLR mic, then I went to the Yeti X. And I think that brings us to our current microphone. I think I went from the Yeti X. So I went XLR to USB, and now I'm back on XLR because I've got the studio. So, kind of funny. All right. I want to get into some Pokemon card opening. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And there may be people lurking who are like, what the hell are you talking? You're not opening Pokemon cards. All right, so for anybody who is watching this, wherever the heck you may be watching it, whether this be Twitch right literally now, or YouTube later, or maybe a highlight on TikTok, who cares? This is a box of the newest set of the Pokemon trading card game, Temporal Forces. This just came out on Friday. Some people did get these cards over the course of the last few weeks, but the official actual release date was this past Friday. It's like the 23rd, I think it was, or something. I got this box because I know sometimes people are curious for about $100. So I know that, you know, that's not nothing. That's a video game and a half. Or these days it's a video game and one of the DLCs. So I ordered this on TikTok. $100 flat. Not a bad deal for a booster box. I've gotten booster boxes as low as like $60, $70. That's a killer deal. Most booster boxes often go for like $120, $140. So it's not like I got a crazy deal, but I got an okay deal. Now this is 36 booster packs of the newest set of Pokemon trading card game. It features primarily Pokemon that were shown in DLCs and in the video games of Scarlet and Violet. There's a lot of Area Zero flavor in here. You've got a lot of the Paradox Pokemon, the Future Form, the Ancient Form, etc. Now I have gone through and kind of vaguely looked at the set list, mostly to see what the, you know, illustration rares are, the gold rares. They're to give you some ideas of some of the cards we're looking for out of this. There are cards called illustration rares, which are like full bore. The entire card is just drawn art. Those are some of the most desirable. There are some golden rare cards where the entire card is like gold, and then it's the character. There are some cards called Ace Spec cards, which are like pink, and they're like souped up versions of items and tools. A good example is one I'm personally hoping to pull is the cape. There's a Ace Spec cape, and what it does is it's just straight attach it to a Pokemon, and they get 100 more health. As long as that tool is attached to that Pokemon, as long as that Pokemon's rocking that cape, they've got 100 more health. And that's a big deal. However, with the Ace Spec cards specifically, you're only allowed to run one in your entire deck. Most cards are allowed to run up to 4 copies, but the Ace Specs, which are similar to another card called the Radiant series, you're only allowed to have one Radiant card in your deck. You're only allowed to have one Ace Spec. And there's only like 4 or 5 of them. There's like a cape, a counter catcher thing, a belt, a Master Ball, which would be epic. That's the Master Ball and the cape are the two that I'm particularly interested in. And then I think there's 1 or 2 others. But there's only a few, and you're not even guaranteed to get 1 Ace Spec in a box. If you get an Ace Spec, cool. If you get 2, wow, you did great. So, to give you guys some context in opening this booster box, this is the second main booster box that I'm opening on the channel. I did open a booster box of Paradox Rift about 4 months ago. If you're curious and want to see what that set looked like, what that process was like, how much fun I had, how different I looked because the sides of my head were shaved. I opened a box of Paradox Rift about 4 months ago. You can go check out that VOD. However, today we're cracking into Temporal Forces. Now, I'm just going to kind of go through the list real quick and give you guys a sense of the cards I'm personally interested in. Originally, I was going to like put them on the screen and mark them off and stuff, but I don't think you guys care that much. So, and I don't care to make that much effort. So I'm just going to say out loud some of the cards that I'm interested in and hopefully hitting as in getting out of these, right? Sealed booster box. All right. I would like from the illustration rare Paradox Pokemon. There's like 5 or 6 of them. There's 2 or 3 I particularly am interested in. I would love to pull a Walking Wake, a Gouging Fire, or an Iron Boulder. Those are my top 3 for the Paradox Pokemon. Now, Iron Boulder is not worth much. It's one of the least valuable of these Paradox Pokemon illustration rare cards. But I think I want to build it into my Cubone deck. It's a fighting type. It's got cool abilities. It very much so fits the theme and flavor of what I've tried to do with my Cubone deck. So I'm looking for Iron Boulder. My number 1 pick is Walking Wake, though. Walking Wake is the ancient form of Suicune, the blue dragon dog looking thing. So Walking Wake is like this Velociraptor looking dinosaur version of Suicune, and it's sweet. It's the one I like the most. Gouging Fire I want because I think it's going to end up in one of the decks I play. I actually have a fire deck that is Entei and Iron Valiant. So I think that Gouging Fire is going to go in that deck. So I would like to get at least 1 copy of that. But it's not going to make or break if I don't get that. I would really like to get Walking Waker or Iron Boulder, to be honest. All right. That covers that category. I'm not sure what I'll use it for because I don't really show my face on streams. Oh, well, if you don't need it for... Well, I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a webcam, like, for job meetings and stuff, or interviews, or I don't know. Anyways, in the category of special art, which includes illustration rares, the Pokemon that stand out to me as the ones I want, and this has nothing to do with value, this is just I like the arts. Unfortunately, 2 of them are more popular, so Ghastly and Arbok look sick. I'm not gonna lie. Ghastly and Arbok look sick. Like, I should probably... Let's do this. I will show you. All right. So, these are the Paradox Pokemon that I was just talking about. Iron Boulder is the one that's a fighting type and would probably fit in my deck. To be perfectly... Like, I'm going to play at least 2 copies of this in one of my favorite decks. Now, whether I get this version art-wise, not really the end of the world, but I'd like it because it looks pretty cool. Walking Wake is the one I was just talking about as my personal favorite. Kind of looks like a Velociraptor Suicune. I just think that art looks freaking sick. I mean, look at my shirt, right? Like, I'm digging the vibes. And then the next one that I mentioned was Gouging Fire. So these are like my top 3. Just kind of giving you some context. The kind of cards that are in this set. Which ones I am looking for. So you can see there's like 6 or 7 of these ancient guys. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My buddy just pulled this one. And it's worth like $90 right now. Now it'll probably cool off. It'll probably be worth like maybe 40 to 60. If that. Once supply catches up. But brand spanking new, that's like a $90 card, which is pretty nutty. You wouldn't think that brand new Pokemon cards would have that level of value, but they do. They do still. Brand new set releases have cards that are worth $100+. Multiple cards usually that are worth $100+. Now, in this category, Ghastly and Arbok are 2 of my personal favorites. Obviously, I'm a sucker for the original 151. This art in particular, though, I just really love. I've always loved the Ghastly Haunter Gengar line. It's always been one I've, kept in the mix to whatever extent. Really great art. I've never really been a big Ekans Arbok fan, but I like this art. I can't even articulate why, but I really like that art. And I've actually seen some of these cards in person, and sometimes the online flat representation, it does not. Like, you'll see when we start cracking into these, hopefully we hit some of these, and I'll try to position it in the camera so that you can, see the foil effects and how they have different colorations. Some have stars in them, some have swirls, some have the environment. The online version doesn't typically do it justice. So, Ghastly Arbok for sure. I think I have a friend who might be interested in I can't say Reuniclus? We're going to say Reuniclus. I think I have a friend who likes this Pokemon, so I might keep an eye out for that. I don't care if I hit it, but if I do, cool, I'll ask them if they like it. I have a friend who is ridiculously obsessed with Snoms, and it cracked me up because when I first started hanging out at one of my local card shops, I met this person, and they were obsessed with Snoms, and they had, like, I want to say it was probably in the ballpark of, like, 20 or 30 Snoms, which if anybody collects card games, a lot of people do that. You'll see someone like, I really love Squirtle, so I have every Squirtle. But usually they are pretty content having one or two copies. They don't usually go nutso grabbing every copy they can. But the funny thing is, I did that when I was a kid. I collected like every Harpy's brother I could in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the Harpy sisters. In Pokemon, I would, gravitate towards certain cards and try to get extra copies of it. Like, I was that way. So I thought that was really cute. And so what I did is I would start looking through bulk. Whenever I would bounce around to all these various card shops, and I've been to like 7 different card shops in my area, I would look through bulk. And sometimes when you're looking through bulk, you can get a single card for like 25 cents or less, right? So I would go through bulk and I would find every Snom. And I mean, sometimes I at one point I gave them a stack of 67 Snoms. So they, over the course of our friendship, have gone from having 20 or 30 Snoms to they're now just shy of 300. Yeah. So the point is I now have a personal affinity for Snom. I think I told Nibbles this story the other day, but I actually, as I told you guys, these cards came out on Friday, but some people had them before, like a week or two beforehand. I tracked down a copy of this card specifically before it was technically out. I got this card last Saturday, so like 9 days ago or whatever. 9 days ago, a full week-ish before release, I tracked one of these down and I gifted it to the Snom kid, and it made me so happy. So now whenever I have the opportunity to get Snoms, I grab them, if within reason, and I throw them at this kid, and they claim they're like $80+ in Snom debt to me, and I'm like, that's adorable. I appreciate that you care enough to keep track of that, but like, I'm not sweating it. You've given me some code cards. They drew me. They hand drew me like a custom Cubone card, which was really cute. I told them, like, I'm not expecting things in return. I'm the adult here. I have some resources. You guys are kids. I'm happy to, be supportive in the little ways that I am. And I explained at one point, like, it sounded like I gave that person 67 Snoms. And that sounds crazy, but when you realize that I got those for, I think it was like, I got a stack of 67 Snoms for like $10 or something. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds insane, but then the actual math works out that it's like, that was a meal for me. That's not a big deal. I can survive without 10 or 15 bucks. So, silly thing, side tangent. I would be thrilled to pull another Snom. I will say if I pull a Snom from this booster box, I'm probably keeping it for myself, which will be one of the first times I've ever done that. I've gifted every freaking Snom I've come along to this kid, but if I pull one in here, I probably might. I would like to keep one for myself, just because that's a really cute full art. Deerling and Sawsbuck. I do have a friend who really loves the Deerlings, so I would like to pull that, but if I don't, meh. So yeah, we got Walking Wake, Gouging Fire, Iron Boulder, Ghastly Arbok, Snom, Deerling. So we got like 7 out of 30-ish. These are the gold rare cards that I mentioned. So these are just essentially those same Paradox Pokemon, the future ancient Pokemon in gold form. Now, the funny thing was, I saw someone pull the Golden Walking Wake, and they're a Magic the Gathering player. So they were just like playing Magic, and they were around the general buzz of people were buying booster packs. I bought 2 for reference. And some random Magic the Gathering guy pulled this card. So I thought that was hilarious. I was like freaking... It looks gorgeous in person. The foil effect is all oil slicky and stuff, which is not what these have looked like before. So suffice to say, these golden cards are really gorgeous, and I would love to pull at least one. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. My top picks would probably be the same 3. So it'd probably be Walking Wake, Gouging Fire, Iron Boulder. In my Cubone deck specifically, I have a Golden Koraidon, that big ancient Pokemon that you ride on in Pokemon Scarlet. And so, yeah, I've got a soft spot for... Anyways, as far as Pokemon X go, I mean, you kind of see these are the same Pokemon. This is the gold form. This is the illustration rare. And here's the full art versions. These full arts are really only worth about $5 to $10 usually. They can be less. They can be about that. Like, I think like Gengar's worth about $10. He probably will cool off to $4 or $5 eventually. I do like these. Some of them more than others. You know, like this kind of just looks like someone took a crayon and traced around it. And it's like it works, but it also doesn't. Mixed feelings. But these are cool. And then when you pull these, you're kind of almost bummed about it because these, although they're playable, I don't even want to, you can get these for $1 or $2. I've already seen I saw these at a card shop before they'd officially released, and they were already being sold for $1. So it's one of those things where it's funny where you could get, this card could be worth $80. This card could be worth $40. And this card can be worth $1. It's the same card, you know, different rarities, different print rates. Obviously it all makes sense, but it is kind of funny how you can get the literal same card and the price range is $1 to $80 or whatever. Like card games, they can be wacky. So, some Pokemon that I've earmarked from this that I'm interested in having some copies of. I want Gouging Fire. I want Walking Wake. I think I want an Iron Crown. I know that this does not complement Iron Valiant. Because Iron Valiant is your abilities are dealing damage. Yeah. It's intriguing. Obviously, I want at least 2 Iron Boulders. I don't really care which version I get, but I would love to get the golden one specifically. And I think oddly enough, the golden is worth less than the illustration rare. Which, I mean, let's be honest. Would you rather have this or this? Obviously, right? So, the rest of the set is not really going to contain anything too crazy. These are those ace spec cards I was referring to before. Looks like there's 7 total. I think I thought there was only 4 or 5. They're like bright pink red, and they look. I just showed you guys one earlier. I have the Neo Upper Energy. So I traded a friend for this on Pokemon Night. So you can kind of see like it's a pink card. It's got a super like look, the foil pulsing, like the shapes change. It's all prismatic and geometric and crazy. So really cool effects that they have on some of these. And like the ace spec that runs up and down the side is really pretty. And yeah. Anyways, I'm particularly looking for the cape. I need a cape. I want a Master Ball. And I probably need a maximum belt, if I'm being honest. And my buddy just pulled the belt. In fact, one of my buddies pulled the Prime Catcher, which is like crazy valuable, I think. Like, I think this is the most valuable ace spec card. One of my buddies got the Prime Catcher. The other buddy got the belt. I'm personally hoping for the cape or the Master Ball. If I hit either of those, I'd be thrilled. I lean cape. And then to give you a sense of what an entire set looks like, these are kind of like the commons and uncommons and rares that flush out the entire set. And then in each booster pack, you're typically going to only get like 1 or 2 rares or higher. So like I could open this entire booster pack and not get a single ace spec, not get a single gold, not get a single illustration rare. The odds of that happening are incredibly low. I should hit at least one of those 3, if not 2 out of those 3, theoretically. But yeah, we are going to be opening all of this stuff. I mean, I think each set usually has like 150-ish, 218 cards, I believe. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right, let's get into this bad boy. That caught me off guard. That was a good sneeze. Temporal Forces. All right. I think this is officially not a structured, beautifully narrated for YouTube experience. This is just going to be me cracking into packs. I'll throw it up on YouTube from this point on. Thank you to anybody who's popping in. My name is Qborn. I'm opening a booster box of Temporal Forces Pokemon cards. There's the beautiful display reveal. I will say that as a person who grew up very poor and could usually only afford one booster pack at a time every couple weeks, this is like, man, if I could just if I could talk to my childhood self right now and be like, dude, you quit playing Pokemon for over a decade and you came back and you love it, and now you've opened multiple booster boxes, I don't think child me would believe me. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like child me would be like, you're weird, leave me alone. I don't believe you. All right. Pack number 1. I'm not going to change the order. I'm not going to shuffle them. I'm not going to mess with them. We're going straight up left column, right column. Now, I do not personally remember how many cards you removed from the bottom. Nothing personal. I will be keeping the code cards for myself. My understanding is that when you flash a code card into a YouTube video, some AI bot algorithm is just going to read and grab that from every Pokemon video that ever exists. So I don't believe in flashing the codes on screen, but to each their own. For this pack, I'm just going to go straight off the top. And then I will figure out how many cards I need to like move from the bottom. So we've got Mawile, Meditate, Turtanator. If I say the name's funny, make fun of me. Hoot hoot! Salvatore! Hey, Salvatore is actually a trainer that I am running one of in my Cubone deck. That is fantastic. I'm going to set that aside. Bronzong, the big old bellboy. Excadrill. Bedlam. So this is what is referred to as the reverse hollow. This is just a common card, but essentially almost every card in the set can also be printed as what's called a reverse hollow, and it has like the type and all kinds of shiny cool stuff going on in the background and the edge of the art, but the main art itself is just normal flat. So this is these usually aren't worth anything really. They're pretty much worth the same as the normal card, except for rare cases where it's like, oh, this is the reverse hollow of a super regularly used card, like Nest Ball. Nest Ball is, everybody plays Nest Balls in the majority of playable decks. So if you had a reverse hollow Nest Ball, someone might be interested in that because it's playable. You know what I mean? So reverse hollow. Arbok. So this is, it looks like another reverse hollow. Next card could be the big one. And it is. This is a full art Iron Crown X. So this is that psychic one that I wasn't sure about because I don't know if it'll work with... Yep. I don't think that works with Iron Valiant, but that's okay. I'm sure there's a deck that works in great. So our very first pull is a full art Iron Crown X. And one thing I will say is, as far as the full arts in the set go, the Paradox Pokemon are probably the ones you want to pull, because as you can see, this is a future form and it's got a really nifty, like crazy, like grid pattern, technological, like situation going in the background. There's like a microchip over here. Like, this is cool. I like this. Happy first hit, y'all. Pack number 2 from the left. And I think from the bottom, we got... Is it just the bottom card? Did I look at what was... Oh, it's energy after that. So that means... I'm trying to remember if I move... You got the energy, the big hit. I don't remember. There's 3 or 4. Anyway, whatever. All right, pack number 2 from the left. We have Tranquil. You know what's funny? I don't know if other Pokemon people have the same problem. I forget a lot of the middle evolution names because you don't spend enough time with the middle evolutions. I almost want to build a team of Pokemon that's only middle evolutions that aren't evolved into their final forms. Mr. Mime. Raichu. Victini. Roserade. Keldeo. Iron Julius. This is an uncommon. Reverse Hollow Turtwig. I'm a personal sucker and fan of turtles. If you can't tell, I love aquatic life. Is that Carkol? Yeah, Carkol is a funny Pokemon. The first time I saw, I think it's called like Roly Poly or something. There's this goofy little like rock guy. Whatever his name is, I thought he was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing at the name like Roly Coly or whatever it is. And then our rare, looks like, is a Whimsicott. Nothing too exciting or crazy. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one Pokemon... Wait, what? Oh. Heal... You may heal all damage from your grass Pokemon. If you healed any damage in this way, discard energy from those Pokemon. That's... okay. Yeah. Not a hit, but decent. Okay, pack 3 from the left. I'm going to set my hits to the side. We've got 1 hit in 2 packs. This is pack number 3 from the left. All right. We have Bedlam. Beldum? Beldum. Heatmore. Roly-Coly. That's the one I was just talking about. I just think that name is really cute and goofy. Reminds me of Roly-Poly Bugs. Roly-Coly. Azumarill, personal favorite. Screamtail. Ancient form of Jigglypuff, essentially. Zerazoa. Iron Valiant. Now, this is actually, I think this is actually a pretty strong card. Like, this is being run in some decks alongside some other stuff. This is like, it's weird because there's already an Iron Valiant X, and this is the, like, there's Iron Valiant X. It's weird. So there's multiple versions of the same Pokemon. I don't even know the, like, logistics or rules of if you're allowed to run 4 of these and 4X. I think you can. Anyways. We've got Drampa. Now, Drampa, there's a really gorgeous illustration rare version of the card in this set, and it's depressingly worth nothing. It looks like, it's Drampa, and he looks like the Neverending Story dragon. And it's a really cool art, but it's only worth like $2. Pidove. Farigiraf X. Alright, so here is a full art. I don't think this is considered shiny. It's a Terra. So this is a Terra X Farigiraf. It is a 260 dark. It has Armor Tail. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your Pokemon's basic X. So, okay. Okay, cool. So it's a nice, strong defensive dark Pokemon. And it's got Dirty Beam, 1 Psychic, 2 Colorless. This attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponents benched. Interesting. So it's a dark Terra type, but it uses 1 Psychic. So you would probably either... You would put this in a deck that runs Psychic so that you had the dark to counter... I don't remember what dark's strong against. I want to say it's like metal or something. Anyways. We're going to call that a hit. Not a great hit, but a hit nonetheless. Hit number 2, Farigiraf X. Hit number 1, much better, Iron Crowns X. All right. Pack number 4. Now, I will say 4 is my lucky number, so I expect there to be nothing in this pack. That's okay. If anybody out there does play the card game, feel free to let me know. What cards are you looking for out of this set? What cards do you enjoy playing? Do you play? Do you have a deck? What Pokemon do you run? Feel free to leave a comment. All that fun stuff. All right. Pack number 4, as I said, pack 4 is my lucky number. Bronzor. Mulberry? Ghastly. Hoping to get the illustration rare. Finizen. Delmise. This is one of the Pokemon that I've never really used in the video games, but I just really dig their vibe. It's like a sentient... I think the Pokemon is not the ship wheel itself. It's like an organism attached to the wheel. Which is pretty cool. I could be wrong, though. Electivire, the evolution of Electabuzz. Cincino. Bramblin. Big ol' tumbleweed. Electabuzz. We like Electabuzz. And Fluttermane. See, I told you this was not going to be the pack. But that's pretty cool. I will say one thing that I like of the Pokemon card sets is that in these last few sets, they've introduced future and ancient forms. And some of the hollows, reverse hollows, etc., they have like this gradation you can kind of see from left to right. And these really nifty, like kind of like swirl thingies going on in the background. And I just kind of dig the approach they took for not all, but some of the ancient future forms. All right. Pack number 5. Pack number 5. 5 of 36. 2 hits in. All right. We have Yamper, Grubbin, Metacham, Tranquil, Sharpedo, Metagross, very cool. Roserade, fine. Explorer's Guidance Reverse Holo. So this is what I'm going to point out. This card, probably not really worth anything. But, that being said, for trainer cards, some trainer cards are also considered kind of like ancient or future affiliated. And it has that same, where they kind of like, they made the reverse holo more interesting. It's got this like cool oil slick thing going on in the background. It's really hard to like show it well on camera, but you know, you get the gist. It's got a cool swirl, and it's not just one generic pattern. You know what I mean? I like it. I'm glad they did that. So, Explorer's Guidance, I'm going to set that in its own little pile. Now, past this Lickitung is probably the good card. You can already see the border looks more interesting. So, got Reverse Haro Lickitung and a Roaring Moon. So, this again, probably not really worth much of anything, but it is one of those ancient cards that has like the cool, it goes like blue to brown or something. It's hard to really like capture on camera well, but I like that it's not just one flat color or one flat pattern from left to right. The fact that it has like a gradation and a breakup, I just think it's cool. Pack number 6. Pack number 6. All right. Dunsparce. Snom! You shouldn't be that excited for a generic common card, but as I explained earlier, I have a friend who collects Snoms, so I'm going to put that in the Snom pile. Pikachu, Scyther, Sableye. Sableye is a personal favorite. I think doesn't get... I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Sableye is a decently popular Pokemon, but I really like Sableye. There's a shiny Sableye is like gold. And so I named my Sableye Goldeneye. Anyways. Great Tusk. Morty's Conviction. This is one of the solid trainer cards of the set. I think it is discard a card and then draw a card for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon, which can be really good because your opponent can have up to 5 benched Pokemon. And typically drawing even 1 or 2 cards is pretty good in Pokemon. Like if you're drawing 1 or 2 cards extra a turn, that's valuable. So the fact that this is like, oh, you could be drawing anywhere from 1 to 5 extra cards, it can be really solid. It's a good catch-up. Rockruff. Litten. Kind of funny. Dog Cat. Give me Gouging Fire. No. Okay. Again, this is another one of those cards, probably really not worth anything crazy because it's the normal version of the X. But I do think that the future and ancient cards are pretty cool. Okay, I believe we're on pack number 7. And I'm going to assume music is still going because I don't have my earbuds in. And I don't really care. Okay. Mr. Mime. Raichu. Victini. Bronzor. Keldeo. Iron Julius. Delmise. This pack looks like the one we opened earlier. Shroomish. Pikachu and Iron Valiant. 7 packs, 2 hits, y'all. We're in a rough stretch here. I want to open 1 illustration. Well, yeah, at least 1 illustration rare gold or a spec. If I do not get one of those 3 out of this box, I ain't buying another one, Pokemon Company. Sizzlepede. Marill. Golett. Eligem. Shiftry. Bianca's Devotion. This is a solid card as well. Heal all damage from one of your Pokemon that has 30 or less health left. This is going to be really tricky to use because it's really specific to have a Pokemon that's like limping around. However, one thing worth noting is that part of the meta right now is the Meowscarada deck, I think. And the Meowscarada deck has an ability that's like put damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon until they only have so much health left. So that could be kind of a counter for that, but meh. Reunculus, Reverse Hollow Roly-Coly, Reverse Hollow Cutie Fly, and the rare for the pack is Dun Sparse. Okay. We're due for another hit. I'm just throwing it out there. All right. I think this is pack number 8. If I lose count, oh well. But I think this is number 8. So this is officially marking, there are 36 packs. 36 packs in the box. So we're not quite a quarter of the way through. All right. We have Mudbray, Ghastly, Finizen, Dunsparce, Electivire, Sinsico? I don't know how to say that. Sableye, again, personal favorite. Reverse Hollow Ekans, Reverse Hollow Lycanroc. I do have a friend who really loves Lycanroc. And the rare hit for the pack for Alligator. Come on. Pack number 9. Remember, we're hoping for top 3 picks would probably be Walking Wake illustration rare, Iron Boulder illustration rare, Cape of Toughness, or whatever the A-Spec Cape card is called. That's like roughly the ones I want the worst, or want the most. Meltan. I remember this Pokemon was like, is this the one where it was like a new Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet, and they like showed this off a whole bunch before anything else, and I thought that was odd. I felt like it was odd how much marketing they put behind. Maybe I'm wrong. Is that Nuzleaf? Yep, Nuzleaf. Mincino, we're gonna say. Rockruff. Explorer's Guidance. Again, trainer cards are always good. Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. This is a really solid card for the meta right now. There's several decks that run copies of this, so it doesn't hurt to kind of just set these aside if you get them. Even if you don't personally need them, maybe you know someone who might. I would like to see what the reverse hollow of this looks like for this set, because I do have both the regular and reverse hollow of this from Paradox Rift. And I would be curious to see if they adjusted or changed the background hollow pattern. Metatite. Sharabug, the worst of the Radiant cards. And a Bramblegast. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little disappointed so far. We have opened 9 booster packs, and I've had 2 hits. Pack number 10. Pokemon, if you want my money, have better pull rates. Hey, it's our boy. We get another Snom for the Snom pile. Pikachu, always a cutie, always popular. Scyther. A little Sizzlepede. A Great Tusk. Another Morty's Conviction. A Shiftry. Reverse Hollow Azumarill. Reverse Hollow Shiftry. And a Koraidon. We've now gone 7 packs without a hit. Pack number 11. I will say sometimes it feels like these booster boxes are seeded on purposely to be like, get a hit, go through a lull, get a hit, go through a lull, get a hit. And I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it feels that way often. Often. All right. We have Litten, Shroomish, Lickitung, Sharabug, Iron Treads, Buddy Poffin. This is for anybody who does play the card game, set these aside. This is the new Battle VIP pass. It's not quite the same because it's put 2 Pokemon with 70 HP or less onto your bench, and you can use it at any point during the game, whereas Battle VIP was you can only use it during your first turn. I don't like this card as much as I thought I would because there's a lot of cards that are 90 health. You know, like there's a lot of Pokemon that are 80, 90 health. They just don't meet this criteria. And so, like, for example, I don't think I can even use this for Cubones, but I could be wrong. I'd have to look at Cubone's health again. But I remember, like, I was trying to play this, and it was like, wow, the only thing I can grab with this in this deck is my Cubone and my Squovit, nothing else. So it wasn't worth it. All right, Buddy Poffin. Lycanroc. Noctowl. Lovin'el. Illustration Rare Groddle. This is not worth much. I'm going to say this is worth like $2. $1 or $2. But look how cute it is. It's an illustration rare. It's the evolution of Turtwig. You got a little Marill, both riding and chasing it. And I think that's a I don't remember what that bird's called. It's a really cute card. We got another hit, technically. And that actually wasn't even the rare. The rare was actually Whimsicott. So, we finally got another hit. And I believe that was pack 11, if I'm keeping tabs. 11 packs, 3 hits. Very cute, but dogs are cuter. Yeah. I love my dogs. I mean, I know that many people are biased towards their pets, but I do love my dogs. Okie dokie. I believe this is pack 12. Marill. Golett. Gem. Meltan. Bianca's Devotion. Reuniclus. Another Explorer's Guidance. Poochyena. I do like this one. I like the art on this, even though it's kind of like, you know, kind of simple, kind of basic. It's cute. Reminds me of my old Sithos logo. Heatmore. Gouging Fire. Okay, so this would be exciting if this were the golden or illustration rare version. At least I got the normal. So if I need to put a copy of this in a deck, I've got it now. So that's cool. This Pokemon can't use Blaze Blitz again until it leaves the active spot. I think this deck might actually be played in the Entei-Iron Valiant deck, and that's actually a deck I play. So I'm hopeful that this will actually go in a deck I have like 4 or 5 decks built out. I've got Lost Zone, Hisuian Gudra. I've got Entei-Iron Valiant. I've got my Cubone Marowak deck. I've got a Solrock Lunatone Mimikyu deck. I've got a Blastoise, Pidgey, and Bidoof deck. And I feel like I'm missing one. I think that covers the bases. So, hey, Gouging Fire. And I don't think there's anything else behind it. Nope, energy. So, that's kind of on the fence whether you would consider that a hit. It is one of the primary ancient future forms in the set that I want, but it is just the normal version of it, not the Golder illustration. So 13? Is it 36 or 32 boosters? I don't know. I think we're on pack number 13. Worried right now about my girlfriend. There's a fire by her place. An ambulance. Fire. I mean, as long as is it at least a few houses away. All right. I think pack number 13. Slugma, Solosis, Skitty, Electabuzz, Delcatty, another Future Energy Booster Capsule, and Iron Hands, a big old slappy boy. What did I say? Fuck yeah, boy. Pardon my French. This is the A-Spec card I wanted. I'm actually shaking a little bit. I'm pretty good at keeping my calm verbally, but bruh. I don't think this, like, as far as the A-Spec cards go, I don't know if this is particularly valuable. I'd have to look up the values after we know what all of our hits are. But there it is. We have officially hit an A-Spec cards. This is one of the most desirable cards in the set. Not only because it is an A-Spec, which is a mechanic that they had forever ago. They used to have A-Spec cards way back in like Sun Moon era or something. This is the first time that they've made a reappearance in quite some time. The Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 100 health. I'm probably putting this in my Cubone deck. So I will say, pack 13, turn it around. Turned it around. I not only got an A-Spec card, which you do not have a guarantee of getting, to be clear. You do not have a guarantee of getting one of these at all in an entire box. You could not get one. Not only did I get one, I got the exact one I wanted. Roll the tape back, jump back to the 5 to 10 minute mark or wherever I was talking about it. I literally said I wanted the cape. I wanted the cape or the Master Ball. Thrilled. That just made the last 6 to 7 whiffs kind of feel worth it. If I could go back and say, hey, bud, these next 4 to 5 packs are going to be rough, but it's okay. You're going to get something cool. All right. And then just FYI, there was a rare tucked behind that A-Spec Heroes cape. It is Iron Thorns. All right. I think we are now on pack 14. I'm not 100% sure, but we are less than halfway through the box, and we have officially hit one of my top 3 choices. To reiterate, I would love to get the Walking Wake illustration rare. That is my number 1 choice of a card that I would just personally like to own. I just really like the art. Gouging Fire's up there, and Iron Boulder, I believe, was the other one. All right, Nuzleaf. I believe this is pack 14. Mincy, I always butcher that one. Rockruff, Litten, Latias, another Ancient Energy Booster Capsule, Iron Treads, Reverse Hollow Golett, Reverse Hollow Croconaw, Drampa, and that's it. Some Pokemon people like to do like guess the energy thing for every single pack, and I do think that's kind of fun. I just don't care today. Yeah, my number 1 choice would probably be Illustration Rare Walking Wake. I did show it off earlier in the stream before we started cracking into the box. We looked through the visual set list, and I kind of pointed out which ones I was interested in. But Walking Wake, he is the ancient form of Suicune, the blue legendary dog Pokemon. And it kind of looks like a Velociraptor. It's really cool. And the art for it is gorgeous. Walking Wake and Gouging Fire in my particular, just downright gorgeous cards from this set. All right. 15? I think this is pack 15. All right. Bramblin, Girafarig. It's always one I struggle to say. Roselia, Cutiefly, Heavy Baton. This is a really interesting and intriguing card. It's like if your Pokemon has exactly 4 retreat costs and it's knocked out, you can move all their energy to other people. it's good. If you have a Pokemon that's going to be a big boy that you know is you're going to have as your big first attacker, being able to take those 3 energy you put on your first couple turns and give them to other people, that actually is pretty nice. I expect this to be played in like a meta deck somehow. So, cool stuff. Mist Energy, this is another one a lot of people are paying attention to, and you should probably set aside if you're opening any cards yourself. It says, as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colorless energy. Prevent all attack effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. Now, what does that mean? No poison, no confusion, no sleep, no paralysis, no special effects are going to impact you, which can be a really big deal. There are decks that are built around poison. There are decks that are built around, like my Cubone deck runs a guy who does confusion. And most people don't even know what confusion does because it's very rarely utilized. But confusion, if it lands, is like you have to flip a coin to see if your attacks go through at all. So being able to protect yourself from status effects, especially if like a poison deck rises in the meta or something, is pretty nifty. So this is a card worth keeping tabs on and just kind of setting to the side if you open any. Sandy Shocks, Iron Thorns. What? Wait, what? Why is the reverse hollow way back here? Oh, because it's... At least we got 2 rares. Alright, not a great pack, but... Iron Thorns Miraidon, that's kind of cool. I will say the Iron Thorns reverse hollow... Actually, they have the same reverse hollow pattern, and it's like the future. Yeah, because they're both future Pokemon. But they both... it's really hard to catch on camera right now, but they have like a really cool little grid pattern background thing going on. Okay. I think we are now doing pack 15? Is this 16? Okay, we'll take your word for it. All right. Shrimish, Lickitung, Shalabug, Slugma, Buddy Buddy Poffin, again, worth kind of setting aside, keeping tabs on those. Lycanroc, Delcatty, a reverse hollow Snom. Great. I have not pulled one of these yet. This is going to go to Snom Kid. Snom Kid, you're now up to 3 Snoms. So this Saturday when I go and play Pokemon with my local card shop, I'll give these to a kid who really loves Snoms. All right. Reverse Hollow Mr. Mime. That's fun. Metal. I think that's the first one I pulled of that. And, okay. 17? We're losing track. We're supposed to have 36 packs total. I feel like, as long as I'm vaguely keeping track, as long as we know how many hits we get in the entire box. We're currently at 4.5 hits is what I'm going to call it. 4.5 hits and 16 or 17 packs, yeah. So we're saying we think this is set number 17. Drillbur. Again, sorry, I'm keeping the code cards for myself. Relor. There is this is just a personal note. There is a card that is coming out in one of the next 2 sets that evolves from this Pokemon. This is a little Poo Beetle Pokemon called Relor. And I remember this was one of the first shinies that I found in Pokemon Scarlet. And it cracked me up because it's a Poo Beetle. It's literally a dung beetle pulling around, rolling around a bottle of poo. But the shiny is rolling around a ball of gold. Poo to gold. And then it evolves into this really cool beetle that's like holding this crazy orb of psychic energy. And the shiny for that is really cool too. But it cracked me up. One of the first shinies I ever got, Golden Poo Beetle. So I have like a weird affinity for this Pokemon. Now the reason I'm pointing it out is there is a version of Rabska, which is the beetle that it evolves into. There's a version of Rabska that is going to be coming out in one of the next sets that is going to be crazy strong. Like probably one of the best cards that's run in almost every single deck. So Poo Beetle, sleeper, y'all. There's going to be some Poo Beetle into Psychic Beetle epicness in this next set. Ponyta. Always a classic. Chatot. I think Chatot's really cute. I think in this set, there is a illustration rare Chatot, which is like a little musical note bird, where it's like the notes are spelling out or playing an actual song or phrase, which I thought was really, really cute. So for those who are musically inclined, very cute little music bird. Bahium. Rapidash. Reverse Hollow. Nope, not Reverse Hollow yet. Boltund. Reverse Hollow Turtanator. That's a funny one. Reverse Hollow Golurk. Hey! Hey! That's a full art trainer. So this is a full art Explorer's Guidance. We've already pulled a few, I want to say like maybe 3 so far of these in its normal form. But this is our first full art trainer. So we now have the Ancient Trainer, Explorer's Guidance. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck and put 2 of them into your hand. Discard the other 4. So this is almost, right now, part of the meta in Pokemon TCG is what's called Lost Zone. So when you're playing Pokemon, you have like your board, then you have your discard pile, which is, you know, oh, discard this card, that Pokemon died, etc., right? You have your draw pile, your discard pile. In Pokemon, you also have what's called the Lost Zone. And the Lost Zone is kind of like Magic the Gathering's Exile, where it's like you're removing that from the game, right? Now, the Lost Zone works with the Exile, but there are a lot of cards that really, there are a lot of decks that really benefit from like messing around with your discard, right? Discarding cards on, you discard energies, and then you use something else to attach them. That kind of vibe, right? So, this card will be played in a meta deck. Like, I'm just telling you. Because there will be a deck that benefits from some aspect of purposely putting cards into your discard pile. I can tell you for a very specific example, the Anti-Iron Valiant deck that I play has a Stadium card in it. And a Stadium card is a card that when you play it out, it affects the entire board. It affects your opponent and it affects you the same way. So it's like a weather effect almost, right? So when you play a Stadium, there's this Stadium called Magma Basin. And what it does is it says if you have any fire energies in your discard pile, once per turn, you can take one of those and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon, and it takes 20 damage to do so. Now, that doesn't sound that great, but the benefit there is that you can trick an extra energy onto your Pokemon. So you can use it as acceleration, right? Like maybe a Pokemon has an ability that costs 2 or 3 energy, and by shortcutting that extra energy onto them, you're now attacking 1 turn sooner, right? So a card like this where it's saying, look at the top 6, discard 2, or keep 2, put the others away. It sounds like you're really like shooting yourself in the foot, keeping 2 out of 6. But no, that could be great. And in fact, one of my favorite cards that I just showed earlier is a card called Colress Experiment. This is the card that does the Lost Zone version. So this is look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put 2 in your hand. No, put 3 in your hand and 2 in the Lost Zone. So it's like, it doesn't hurt you quite as badly, but the cards that you're giving up are gone. You know what I mean? Whereas with this, you could still work with them. So, discard effects and Lost Zone effects, when done properly, are very good cards. So I'm just kind of pointing that out and educating those who aren't as familiar either with the brand new set or the game mechanics in general, that this is a pretty sweet card. Like if if I go back and look through the trainer full arts, this is probably on the short list of one that I would like to have at least one copy of. So that's great. I'm thrilled. We're calling that a hit, and then it's a fire energy. That's what I try to do. You know, I used to Lab. I know that you're kind of Mixer era, but before I streamed on Mixer, I was actually on Twitch for about 3.5 years, and I primarily streamed a card game called Hex Shards of Fate, which played really similar to Magic the Gathering. So I basically got my streaming career started with cards, and I had a really, really strong emphasis on education. I would explain my gameplay, why I was making the choices I was, why I was picking the cards I was. You do? Bruh. I cried about Hex the other day. I've been very emotional lately, and you guys, like, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or worry about me or anything. I just want you to know that I'm much more in tune with my emotions as a dude these days than I used to be. A lot of my regulars probably remember me getting, like, really distraught, and I would get angry, and I would lash out, and I would have, you know... I had a real hard time regulating my emotions. I've come a long way in that regard. So, I cry a lot, you guys. I cry every week. I know that's not normal. I suffer from chronic depression. I'm autistic. I've got a hearing disability. Life is hard. What can you do, right? Anyways, I think we're on... Are we calling it... Or is this 17 or 18? 18? Based on what you've said? 18? All right. Sizzlepede. This is a really goofy Pokemon, and every time I see it in game, I kind of giggle at it. It's like Sizzlepede turns into some crazy other thing. And it's just a goofy, funny Pokemon. Marill. Golett. Dunsparce. Another Ancient Energy Booster Capsule. I mean, we don't having a lot of those. Rapidash. Boltund. Should be our Reverse Holo. Electivire. Reverse Holo Mawile. And this should be our rare Drampa. Man, they're just spitting Drampas at us. I feel like that's the second or third Drampa we've gotten. All right, we're going to call this number 19. I appreciate that. I stepped back from content creation when Mixer died. I switched back over to Twitch, and I tried to make a crack at it. And the only game that I had any success with was Ashes of Creation, which is an MMO that's going to come out later this year. And I was creating content for it in 2020, 4 years ago. It still isn't playable. So I kind of realized, I'm like, shit. When Mixer died and I came back to Twitch, it kind of felt like there was no path to getting back to where I was or succeeding. So I'm still hopeful and excited for Ashes of Creation. It'll probably be my main game when it comes out. They're saying that they're going to make the Alpha 2 playable towards the tail end of this year. I hope that it actually is. I feel like it's kind of reached this point where they say that every year. They're like, hey, the next testing phase where we're going to let a bunch of people in is going to be Q3, and then it comes and goes. So I don't just let me play a little. Can I play 2 days? Whatever. Slugma. Slosis. Scyther, Skitty, Airy. Airy's kind of an interesting trainer. So Airy is your opponent reveals their hand, and you discard up to 2 item cards you find. I've been watching a few YouTubers talk about this set and how they think it's going to impact the actual playing card game. A lot of YouTubers think that there's going to be a shift in the meta away from hard hitting and comboing and towards control, which is not something that is super prevalent in Pokemon. Nowhere near as much as you would expect in Magic the Gathering or some other card games. Messing with your opponents is not as big a thing in Pokemon for understandable reasons, right? It's more targeted at kids, but effects that are make your opponent discard a card or make your opponent do something they really don't want to do, they're pretty few and far between. So for this card to come out and say, look at your opponent's hand and make them discard tools, which can be incredibly valuable, like the Ace Spec Cape that we pulled, that's a tool card. So if I had that cape in my hand, which you can only have one in your entire deck. Imagine you had that cape in your hand and your opponent goes first or whatever. Before you can play it, they're like, discard your cape. Now, there are other cards that will shuffle things back into your deck, but I will throw out there, most people don't run cards that shuffle trainers or items or tools. Well, trainers they do. There's a card called Palpad. Trainers is pretty normal, but items and tool cards, you don't really usually dig back for those. So it'll be interesting to see how prevalent Aerie is and how many times I don't get to play my cape. Centiscorch, Buddy Buddy Poffin, which again, as I pointed out, this is going to be one of the most prevalent trainer item cards from this set that you'll want to keep and set aside, and probably keep at least like 4 to 8 copies if you play and would like to have multiple working decks. Looks like a rare hit is a Reverse Hollow Flutter Mane, Reverse Hollow Keldeo, and then this should be the actual hit, a Whimsicott. All right, Whimsicott and Drampa. Whimsicott and Drampa are coming on a little hard right now. 20? 20 packs, 5.5 hits. So we're currently averaging 1 hit in every 4 packs, which I'll be really curious. Like when we're done, I'll show you guys what my hits were. We'll do a raw count. We'll look up some values. We'll kind of get a sense of like, hey, I spent $100 on this booster box, right? Granted, I split it up into 4 payments of $25 every 2 weeks, which is a much more, you know what I mean? Like spending $100 on any hobby at one time is a lot. So, oh, mistakes were made. I drank an entire Trente Starbucks coffee on an empty stomach. Drink some water. Okay. 20. All right, we got another Snom for Snom Kid. That is our 4th Snom. Mudbray, the donkey. Mincinsa blah blah blah. Rockruff. Mudsdale. Another Explorer's Guidance. Colossal Brambleghast. Hey! Here we go. Illustration Rare. So this is our 2nd Pokemon Illustration Rare card. Lickitung. Goofy Pokemon guy. Look at that big old tonguey boy. He's licking, I feel like that looks like some sort of ice cream or dessert or something, but that's fun. It wasn't one of the ones I specifically want or need in my life, but it's a hit. We count it. So that we're now up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.5 hits in 20 packs. And we also got a Melmetal from that pack. Whoop-de-doo. I think I'm just feeling a little nauseous because I haven't eaten much today, but I drank a lot of coffee, and I'm not a coffee drinker. So it's like, you know, some people, coffee in their stomach. And if I very suddenly have to run away and not be here for 2 minutes, you understand. All right. 21. Electabuzz. Bramblin. Girafarig. Roselia. Iron Tread. Boxed Order. What does this do again? Search your deck for up to 2 item cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck but your turn ends. I wouldn't play that. I don't like these. There are a lot of cards like this where it's like you get a pretty decent benefit, but you end your turn. And it's not great. It's not great. I'm gonna lie. Yeah, I don't want to end my turn. Rebombay. Okay. I want to throw this out there. I love Black Panther, right? Every time I see this Pokemon, I don't know what the actual words are that they say, so make fun of me for being too white. But in Black Panther, you know where they're like, and it's fucking dope. And you're like, oh, they're going to mess stuff up. Like, it's really cool. Every time I see this dang Pokemon, Ribombe, or however you're really supposed to say this freaking butterfly. Every time I see this name, I say it like Wakandan. I'm like, Ribombe. And it's like, that's not any of what they say. So make fun of me. I'm giving you permission. Make fun of me. Ribombe. Love Black Panther. And Iron Hands. I think this is the reverse holo. So one thing that's nifty about this is that this is an uncommon. So you've been seeing as we've been going through towards the tail end of the packs, we've been getting a lot of these reverse holos. And some of them, like, it's just like the trainer and then the background looks a little different. Because this is an uncommon reverse holo, the difference is actually more stark and noticeable. It's got like the full bore, like, ancient or future grid. Like, it's so hard to get it on camera well, but there's this really intricate little grid pattern in the back. You can almost see it there. And it's gorgeous. So for being a reverse holo uncommon card, it's kind of nifty that they made it where if it's a future or ancient, it's a little more interesting than just any other reverse holo. And that's something that I don't know how long that's been a thing in the Pokemon card sets. Like, I'm really only familiar with the modern sets, essentially, that are currently actively being played for the most part. But at whatever point they decided, we're going to put a little bit more effort into our reverse holos and just like the cards you pull a lot of, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, Pokemon Company. 21. I feel like 21 is a lucky number, mainly because gambling, blackjack. We are entering pack 21, and we have had pretty much exactly what we expected. Actually, we're up to about a 1 in 3 pack hit ratio. We're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half hits going into our 21st pack. So we're literally like right about the 1 in 3 pack gets us a hit. Litten, Shroomish, Licky Tongue, which we just got the illustration rare for, Slugma, Perilous Jungle. Oh, this is a cool one. This one I'm keeping an eye on. So, there are some cards in this set that seem to me to be hinting that they are building up to or will support a poison deck in the near future. There hasn't been poison in the meta for a long time because, let's be frank, it's kind of an annoying mechanic. But they are printing a lot of cards that seem like they're really good for poison and dark types, and this is one of them. So this is Perilous Jungle. It says during Pokemon Checkup, put 2 more damage counters on each poisoned non-dark Pokemon. So the reason this is nice, it's a stadium, so it just stays out. And it's basically saying if you're poisoning anything, poison it a little harder. And it does look really cool. It's got like this gorgeous blue-pink, swamp vibe. I dig it. I personally, neither here nor there, one of my favorite types is poison. If you're curious, I really love Slowbro in particular. One of my main Pokemon is Galarian Slowbro, which I kid you not, I have a fucking tattoo of. So a lot of people, like, as far as niche Pokemon go, I have Galarian Slowbro Samus. This is shiny Galarian Slowbro. So, And Shiny Galarian Slowbro, he's really cool because he has like a little arm cannon. Oh, no worries, Lab. I'll just keep labbing. He has an arm cannon, and he shoots like poison blasts and fire blasts and psychic blasts and stuff. It's really cool. I really love that Pokemon. Anyways, Unpheasant. Airy, that I think that's that control card, yeah. Reverse Holo Rapidash. I don't think I have my bot running right now, but no worries, bud. A Fluttermane, which again is nice because it's this is a rare. Okay, so that's the rare for the pack. That's okay. Midnight Fluttering. As long as this Pokemon is the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities except for Midnight Fluttering. Okay, so we got an ability shutdown. That's kind of nice. 22, I think. 22 packs, 6.5 hits. All right. What do we got here? We got Cutie Fly, Drillbur, Reller, Poo Beetle, Ponyta, another Energy Capsule, an Iron Hands, Rescue Board. This is an interesting one. I'm curious to see how or if this is used much, because all it really does, I think, is reduce a Pokemon's retreat cost by 1. But if they have 30 HP or less, it can retreat for free. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just feel like there's so many other tools I would rather have attached to a Pokemon. I don't see playing this unless there's a deck that absolutely requires the ability to take big guys and have the capability to move them back. Palafin. It's a fun one from the Hand Trimmer. This is a really good one. So this is also playing into that aspect of control cards. I've been seeing this played online a lot. The idea is, it says, each player discards cards from their hand until they have only 5 left. Your opponent goes first. So it's basically just like saying, hey, dude, you're not going to have a 10 or 12 or 15 card hand. You get 5. And it's meant to kind of like punish card draw decks, I guess. I know like Gardevoir X is an incredibly popular card draw deck where you get to draw a lot and have a lot of control over which cards have in your hand. This probably would be good against that. Hand Trimmer. Salvatore. I think this is one of the ones I wanted. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a hit. This is, pack number 22? This is a trainer full art Salvatore. So Salvatore is search your deck for a card that has no abilities. Yes! And evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck. You can use this card on a Pokemon you put down when you were setting up play. So here's one of the beautiful things about this, guys. There is a card that is being played a lot right now called Rare Candy, which lets you like skip the middle evolution and just put the final Evo on. This is kind of has a similar practicality in that there are a lot of Pokemon where their base form sucks. And then their second or third form are really good. A perfect example of why I'm excited for this card is that this works on Marowak. So I actually have a Cubone Marowak deck that I play Saturday nights at my local card shop, mainly against kids because I built it for funsies. This would allow me to evolve a Cubone on turn 1. Normally, you are not allowed to evolve a Pokemon the same turn that it enters play. So like if I played a Cubone, I would have to wait until my second turn to make it a Marowak. And then on top of that, I have to have that Marowak in my hand. This skips all of that. Now, it is a supporter card, and you're only allowed to play one supporter per turn. So I would be probably, you would be doing that instead of like a card draw or some other effect that might benefit you. But for me personally, this is literally a card I would have gotten one of, even if I had to buy it. So I'm actually kind of happy I got it. So we're calling that a hit. Salvatore. We're currently at 7.5 hits. I'm starting to lose track. We're calling this 23. I think so. All right. I still would love to pull Illustration Rare Walking Wake or a golden something. I got my ace spec. I can't, at this point, I can't really cry too much, but I would still love to pull like one other big thing. Solosis, Scyther, Skitty, Electabuzz, Centiskorch, another Buddy Buddy Poffin, an Iron Treads. Wait, is that a reverse holo? No. Victini, Iron Julius, Bramblegast. All right. Nothing too crazy. Okay, we're calling this number 24. I have just a god-awful pile of, like, wrappers and code cards now. Chatot. Cottony. Carvana? Ekans. Again, Ekans and... Arbok is one of the prettiest illustration rares in this set. I would love to pull either Arbok or Ghastly. Sandy Shocks. Another hand trimmer. Rabska. Wait. Is this... This is the card I was talking about earlier. Okay, so we've got Rabska here, guys. So Rabska, look at this Pokemon. It evolves from the Poo Beetle. It only has 70 health, which sucks. But its ability is Spherical Shield. Prevent all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to your benched Pokemon. I'm going to have to like really talk this out with people, but am I understanding correctly that this blocks Iron Valiant and a lot of other stuff? Because the way I'm reading this is this... Because Iron Valiant is its ability places like 2 damage counters or something. But this says prevent all damage from and effects of attacks. No, it doesn't. Hold on. Prevent all damage from and effects of attacks. So it doesn't protect from the ability. It doesn't protect from the ability, but it does protect from things like Yoga Loop, which I think just got rotated out, and some various other things. I still think that this is really good. I still think that this is really good and may end up being used for something. All right. Licky Licky, a Sandy Shock, and an Iron Valiant. Pokemon I was just talking about. Okay. I think we're at 25. I'm gonna be honest. I have a tiniest bit of a headache, and I'm running out of the mojo, effort, energy to be excited about this home stretch. But that's okay. Bramblin, Girafarig, Roselia, Cutie Fly, Boxed Order, which we think sucks, Bombay, Future Energy Booster Capsule, a Vivavolt. Hey, Reverse Hollow Future Energy Booster Capsule. See, these I would love to have like a full set of 4 of. I want to say I run 2 of these in my Iron Valiant Entei deck. So that may end up going in a deck. Cool. Koraidon. That Koraidon looks pretty cool, though. It's got like a nice gradation of like yellow to whatever. All right. We're calling this 26. I don't know if I'm right, if I lost track or not. But whatever. Turtwig, Puccina, Wiglet, Meltan, Fortress, Full Metal Lab. I'm really intrigued by this. I like metal type Pokemon. This is a stadium that just says straight up metal Pokemon take 30 less damage. I really want to build a deck around this. I have like a weird affinity for damage reduction and retaliation. That's like one of my favorite mechanics is like, oh, you just hit me for 200 damage? Well, actually, you only dealt 120, and now I deal 200 damage to you. That kind of thing, like, I just really like. I like defensive strategies. Full Metal Lab. Cool card. Golurk. Reverse Hollow Torcat, I think? Yeah, Torcat. Zerazoa. Kind of cool looking one. Iron Boulder X. Cool. So this I'm gonna call half a hit. Because this is as we I specifically point out, this is a card I need 2 copies of. So the fact that I got one of these, I'm glad. But it is just the normal, non-full art, non-illustration rare, non-gold. Like, there's 3 prettier versions of this card I could find. So I'm glad I got it. It's going to go in a deck, but could have been better. We're going to call that half a hit, and we're going to claim that we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. 8. 8 hits and 24 packs, roughly. 25, I think. This is probably 25 take 2 because I probably already said 25, but whatever. All right. We got Drillbur, Reller, Ponyta, Chatot, Iron Hands, big old slappy boy, Rescue Board. Still don't know how I feel about that. Sandy Shocks, Reverse Hollow Raichu, Reverse Hollow Buddy Poffin. Cool. That is something that I'm going to want to have 4 copies of. So, again, probably not worth anything. Maybe worth 50 cents, but whoop-de-doo. I'm glad I got it. And a Dun-Duns. Okay, this is like, remember before when we had 4 or 5 packs in a row that were trash, and then we pulled this? Can that happen? Can we get a good card now, please? I feel like we've been on a rough, that was a rough patch, man. All right. 26? I think. Okay. C-Dot. Totodile. That's the first Totodile I've seen. Huh. Cool. Deerling. I'm going to set that aside because, as I said, I have a friend that likes Deerlings. Didn't even know that was in this set. Pidove. Shaman. Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. This is an intriguing card I'm keeping an eye on. Search your deck for up to 2 cards. Shuffle your deck, then search your deck for 2 cards. Shuffle your deck. Put those cards on top in any order. So it's interesting because you're not drawing those cards right away. And there's always the risk that you're going to have to shuffle before you get to draw those 2 cards. But having power over what you draw next could be nice. If you really need an energy, you really need a specific Pokemon, a specific trainer, a specific supporter, whatever, you're basically, if this works, you are picking your next draw, which could save your butt in the right circumstances. So I think this might be pretty good. I'm really intrigued and curious to see how much this is played, how many copies go in decks. You know, in Pokemon, you can have up to 4 copies of most cards, and usually 4 copies means, like, I want to draw this at the beginning. 3 copies is like, I hope I get it during the game. 2 copies is like, I need to draw it at some point. And then 1 copy is like, if I get it, great. If not, whatever. So, I'm intrigued by this card. Vivavolt. What? Y'all. Second ace spec. Did I just manifest the crud out of that? Did I just manifest the ever-living shit out of that? Did I not say that the 2 ace spec cards I was most interested in? I pulled them. I pulled the ones I wanted. I feel like a kid on Christmas. That's great. I love it. Isn't it fucking fantastic? Guys, I fucking pulled a Master Ball. I'm so happy right now. And that wasn't even in the rare spot. The rare spot was higher. That's great. I'm thrilled. I feel like I manifested the shit. Okay, so that's I think we're up to about 8 or 9 hits. And I think we're going into pack 27. I've had a good booster box. The fact that I hit 2 ace specs, that's already... Now, some of these are not worth much. The ace spec cards, some of them are only worth $1 or $2. But I got some of the better ones, because I think there's like 6 or 7 total. I'm really happy right now. That's awesome. The fact that I got the 2 that I wanted. What are the odds, right? Because I know that getting an ace spec card at all is like a 1 in several hundred, which if you stop and think about it, this is like 30 something boosters. So if you're only supposed to pull an ace spec 1 in 100, that kind of means you get 1 every 3 boxes. I just got 2. Now there are rumors and theories and circumstances that people think that the booster, like the elite trainer boxes, booster boxes, etc. Like a lot of people think that the very first batch of a new set is like seeded better. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm happy. Cottony, Carvana, Ekans, Turtwig, another hand trimmer, a Rabska, which I'm still very intrigued by, Fortress, Mudbray, a reverse hollow Full Metal Lab, very cool, and a Roaring Moon. All right. I'm losing track. We're going to call this 27. If I'm wrong, whoop-de-doo. We have 4 booster packs after this one. So we are in officially the home stretch. Last few packs, we have pulled 2 ace specs, 2 trainer full arts, 2 illustration rare Pokemon, and 3 or 4 Pokemon X, something like that. Pineco, Mawile, Metatite, Turtonator, Great Tusk, another Salvatore, Bronzong, Gem, Relincanth. I like this Pokemon. I can't quite articulate why it's this like stony fish Pokemon. I just think it's nifty. I have like a weird affection for like ugly fish. Like if you guys ever seen like an anglerfish or like I really want to get they're called a frogfish. If you've never heard of it, go ahead and Google frogfish and just be prepared to giggle because they're some of the dorkiest looking little goobers that exist in the ocean, and you can own them as pets. Like I probably at some point would like to own a... What did I just say they're called? Ah, whatever. Relincanth. Mass Cargo. Nada. Even if we don't get another hit in these last 4 packs, I'm kind of happy because I feel like I've gotten a couple illustration rares. I got 2 ace specs. I got literally 2 of the Pokemon X I wanted. Not the art that I wanted, but I got Iron Boulder. I got Gouging Fire. The only thing that I would freak out over at this point, not the only thing, the main thing I would freak out over would be an illustration rare Walking Wake or Gouging Fire. I don't think I'm going to get one. I think we've gotten the bulk of our luck from this box in 2 ace specs. Like, I'm going to be content with that. But I'm just throwing it out there, universe. You want to make this the best box ever? You give me an illustration rare Walking Wake in the last 2 packs. You let me manifest my cape and my Master Ball, so we'll see. Puccina, Wiglet, Meltan, Seedot, another Full Metal Lab, which I want to build. Golurk, Shaman, Reverse Hollow Drillbur, and a illustration rare Ranunculus, or however the heck you say it. At the beginning of the stream, I did single this card out as a card that I think a friend may potentially be interested in. So I will be considering this a hit because it's an illustration rare, and earmarking it as a potentially to either gift or trade to a friend. So not one I wanted, but could have been worse. And then the rare spot is actually Miraidon. So we're going to call that a hit. I want to say that we're up to like 10-ish hits, so we're pretty much averaging 1 hit per 3 packs. And we have 3 packs left. So just saying, we might get 1 more hit. We might not. Hoot hoot. Beldum. Heatmore. Roly-Coly. Again, that name cracks me up. Excedril. Screamtail. Zerazoa. Reverse Hollow Mincino. A Reverse Hollow Heavy Baton. That's kind of cool. And then probably the rare Bramblegast. All right. 2 packs left. No, not even counting anymore. We are in the home stretch. We are completing this booster box, Temporal Forces. I will give you guys the breakdown of what our hits were. We'll probably go ahead and Google some of the values real quick just to... Did I get my value back? Did I not? At this point, I can't tell. I don't know if this is $100 worth of cards. I know that Master Ball is probably the most sought after A-spec card. It could be only worth $20. It could be worth $10. I don't know. So we'll look that up after. It's kind of hard to commit the price values of a new set to memory because they shift a lot in the first month or so. Totodile. Another Deerling, which I'm going to set aside for my Deerling friend. Pidove. Pineco. Another Cypher Maniacs code breaking. Vikavolt. Great Tusk. Reverse Hollow Sableye. Reverse Hollow Scyther. And a Gengar. All right. I mean, so this is a Gengar X. So this is what, again, I consider this kind of like half of a hit because it's just the normal version. There's a full art of this. I don't think there's an illustration rare, but there is a full art of this. And that's actually worth something. This isn't, I don't think, worth. But it is a cool Pokemon. It has 310 health. Whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand, they get 2 damage counters to that Pokemon. And its ability is you can move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. So again, this Gengar, like, again, they're kind of it feels like the theme of this set. Look at that reverse hollow. That's fun. Or I'm sorry, the hollow pattern. I really feel like they're kind of interjecting control back into the meta in this set, and that's something they're kind of like, hinting, pushing at, encouraging. And Gengar kind of has that control vibe as well. So, again, we're going to call that half a hit. And we have officially reached the final booster pack of this Temporal Forces Pokemon TCG booster box. We've been averaging 1 hit every 3 packs, and this is the last one. We did not get a hit in the last 2. I guess we kind of... we said Gengar's a half hit. Will we have final pack magic? Will I get the illustration rare Walking Wake? This and more on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Okay, Azumarill, Yamper, Grubbin, Medicham, an Iron Valiant, a Sharpedo, a Metagross, a Grubbin, a Ranunculus, an Amelma, nothing, and that's okay. You know why that's okay? Because we actually did all right. I'm going to show you guys our hits. I should probably grab some sleeves. I will sleeve these and show them to you one by one, and then we will potentially look up some values and see if we got our value. because as I said, this is an entire booster box of Pokemon cards. They're not cheap. Typically, when you buy booster packs, they're like $4 or so. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. Circumstances. 30-something booster packs. Retail value of a booster box is something like $140 to $160, and I got it for $100. So, not the best price, not the worst price, kind of mid. I've gotten booster boxes for as low as like 70-ish, I think. So I'm gonna sleeve these up real quick, and then I'm gonna show you our hits. I'm gonna put them kind of in escalating order. So we're gonna go through our X's, and then we're gonna go through probably our trainer arts, and then our illustration rares, full art rares, etc. So I'll show them to you kind of guys in the chunks of their rarity. So you can kind of get a sense of which rarities we hit and how many. One thing that can get really, really confusing about Pokemon cards is, they have a lot of different names for what rarity: reverse holo, illustration rare, full art rare, trainer gallery rare. There's a lot of terminology involved. So I don't blame anybody, myself included, if you don't remember what kind of card is what and if it's valuable, is it not. It can be kind of hard to memorize all that sometimes. Okay, so let me organize these. We're going to put our ace specs at the back. Then we're going to put our illustration rares. Then we're going to put our trainer full arts, our Pokemon full arts, and our X's. All right. I'm going to put these in like almost reverse order. Put these in order almost in the way that like you can tell which one's more valuable. I think that's right. Okay. I have put these in an order guessing lowest value to highest. And we'll look these up in a second and we'll see if I was right. So I think Gengar X, just a regular X. We got 3 X's, okay? We got Gengar. We got Iron Boulder, which is one I did single out as wanting at least one copy of. I'm glad I got it. I wish I just got a better version. Gouging Fire, again, one I specifically pointed out as I want it, but I really would have loved to have seen the illustration rare. Then we got a full art Frigiraffe, a full art Iron Crown. This is probably one of the more valuable full arts, being that it's one of the ancient or future Pokemon, so that's nifty. I mean, I'm glad I got it. It's not one I was specifically going for, but that's okay. Salvatore. I am thrilled I got a Salvatore, because this is going to go right into my Cubone deck. He works on Marowak. If I play a Cubone, turn 1, or if I just have a Cubone and I'm struggling to evolve it, Salvatore will evolve my Cubone into a Marowak, and it doesn't even end my turn. I love that. That's great. Super thrilled to get Salvatore full art. Explorer's Guidance. This is another card that I think is going to be really, really good and actively played in at least one of the meta decks, because it look at the top 6 cards of your deck, put 2 in your hand, the other 4 in the discard. There are situations where that's valuable. You can put energies in your discard or a Pokemon and bring it back. Good stuff. I'm glad that of the trainers I could get a full art for, the 2 that I got, Salvatore and Explorer's Guidance, they're solid. They both seem good playable cards. Grottle, this is the middle evolution of Turtwig. This is worth nothing, which is kind of a bummer. Like, you look at it and you're like, wow, that's a really cute, gorgeous card, whatever. But like print run wise, not really worth anything. That's okay. Ranunculus. This is one that I personally didn't really care about getting, but as I mentioned, I think I have a friend who does like this Pokemon. So I'm going to ask him. I'll probably offer to trade them or just gift it to them. We'll see. Lickitung. I do love Lickitung. You know, it's a fun Pokemon. It's just never been one that I've gone out of my way to rep. So, you know, as far as like illustration rares in this set, this is one of the cuter ones. But to be perfectly frank, I wish I had gotten a Deerling or a Sawsbuck. Because if I'd gotten a Deerling or a Sawsbuck, I know I have a friend that likes that Pokemon. You know, it's just like, fine. I'm going to keep this. I'll put it in my binder. It'll look pretty. But it wasn't one that I was specifically going after. Ha! It's okay, Nibbles. I'm recapping our hits right now. So we got like 9 or 10 hits, and we got about like 10 or 11-ish hits in the entire booster box. So averaging 1 in 3 hits, but you're gonna see the best stuff I got right now. So you're kind of coming in at the opportune time to at least see the best cards I got. Here's the moneymaker. So at the beginning of the stream, for those of you that were here or if you weren't here, I explained that this is a new card type that just came into this set called Ace Spec. I know it's kind of hard to read. My webcam isn't doing the best job right now. That's okay. There are like 6 or 7 of these in the set, and I literally said of the 6 or 7 that exist, I want the cape. Like, I need the cape. The cape is the one I'm after, right? We got the cape. Now, on top of that, when I was talking about the fact that if we got an A-Spec card, which there's no guarantee, I think that the hit rates for these are like 1 in 100 or something. We'll try to look that up. The point is, you're not guaranteed to get one of these at all in an entire box. So not only do I have any singles or packs for sale? I mean, I have a lot of like, I have a binder, but I'm not necessarily looking to sell. I mostly like, I take my binder to a local card shop every Saturday and I just trade and hang out with people. But I mean, I have some cool cards. I could show you, you hang out for like 30 seconds. These are the last 2 cards I just pull. I'm talking, showing off the best pulls I got from my booster box. So, would you sell some? Probably only if you lived near me, to be frank, because you could probably get a better deal buying the same exact stuff from, like, I point you in the direction of a good deal. Are you just trying to find a good deal on some booster packs? Because I don't have any... Do I have any sealed Pokemon right now? I don't think so. I don't think I'm sitting on any sealed Pokemon, but I have opened a lot, and I have a lot of modern cards. Like, I'll show you my binder here in a second. So, as I was explaining, these Ace-Spec cards in Temporal Forces, these are not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed to get one of these. So not only did I get an Ace-Spec card, I got the one that I specifically singled out. Now, on top of that, I said, of these 6 or 7 Ace-Spec cards, the 2 that I want the most are the Cape and the Master Ball. Now, I don't know for sure. We'll look up the values here in a second. I would guess that the Master Ball or the Counter Catcher thing are probably the most valuable just on playability, strength, whatever. So, I got the Cape in like the 7th to 9th pack, and I was pretty freaking thrilled. We got the Master Ball too. What the hell? I was really not feeling like the box was going well until this happened. I pulled 2 Ace-Specs in one box. So I'm going to look up the odds of that and see. I'll ask around. Hey, has anybody else pulled 2 Ace-Specs from the same box? Pretty cool. Not only to get 2 Ace-Spec cards, but literally the exact 2 that I singled out as wanting. So, pretty cool. I'll show you those hits again in reverse order. So we did pull the Hero's Cape, the Master Ball, a Lickitung, Illustration Rare Lickitung, Illustration Rare Ranunculus, however you say that, Illustration Rare Grottle, Full Art Trainer, Explorer's Guidance, Full art Trainer Salvatore, which is one I wanted. Full art Iron Crowns X. Full art Farigiraf X. A Gouging Fire X regular, Iron Boulder X regular, and a Gengar X regular. Those were our hits. We're going to count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. So we're, as I said, we averaged about 1 in 3 packs was a hit, which is not bad. It's not great. No, it's all right. Yeah, I would say it's very reasonably all right. Okay, let me go ahead and grab my binder real quick. It's literally on the floor in my backpack. And I can show you, these cards are not necessarily for sale. I have 2 binders. I've got my trade binder and my collection binder. And to be honest, the trade binder's kind of picked through. I need to reorganize this, so you're probably not going to be super impressed with anything in there. It's got like the $20, $30-ish cards at best. This is my personal collection binder. So this is a binder that I don't even show to most people unless they're like really nice and ask, because this is like, I literally just put cards I love. So we've got, we've got Misty's Starmie V, which used to be worth a chunk of change, but it's dropped off in value. I'd have to look that up. Illustration Rare Mew, Illustration Rare Pikachu from Crown Zenith. This card at one point was worth like $70 or something crazy. I don't remember if this is one that rotated. No, he's still in. So Raikou V. This is actually a card that like I was like, I really, really want a copy of this, and then I pulled it from I think like an Elite Trainer box or something. That was pretty cool. Another personal favorite on this end, Slowpoke. We got the Illustration Rare Slowpoke, promo Mewtwo, Pikachu promo probably, Ammonite, Illustration Rare, Morpeko, Mew VMAX, Ditto, Pidgey. What else we got? We got Tinkaton, Tinkatuff, Wooper, Tyranitar, Frigibax, Heracross, Loudred, Alolan Vulpix, Marill, Quaxwell, Quaquaval, and Quaquaval. A whole bunch of Altarias. I've got all the Altarias, including the Illustration Rare. Mousehold, Koraidon, Fido, Sandy Shocks, Charmander promo, Melodic, Screamtail. This is like a mix of promos, golds, full arts, trainer. Like, it's just my stuff, you know? Oh, I have 2 of those Pikachus in there, I think. Some Mouseholds, Chi-Yu, Caporaja, Bibarel's pretty funny. Bunch of trainer galleries. Got some older cards recently, so we've got like a Entei GX. Shiny Slowpoke, I think, might have been gifted to me. I think Ganon might have gifted me the Shiny Slowpoke. I don't remember. One person gave me the Slowbro and one person gave me the Slowpoke, and I don't remember who was who. But that was really nice of them. I've got multiple Shiny Rellors, because as I mentioned earlier, I think that Rabska might actually, that protects your bench, might be decent. This page has a bunch of shinies. So I've got Shiny Grimmsnarl, Lapras, Noibat, some of the regular mounts. And then back here it starts to thin out a bit. I've got some Eevees. This is my trainers pages. So one trainer I thought was really funny and kind of reminded me of me was this Pokemaniac guy. He's like a moderately long-haired, brown-haired guy who's obsessed with Slowpoke. And I literally have a Slowbro tattoo. So I'm not going to lie, y'all. I kind of feel like that's me. Pretty funny. Clara over here next to me. That's my waifu from Pokemon Sword and Shield. So she's my, like, you know, sometimes people pick like a either a trainer that's a dude or a girl that they just like. I like Clara and I like Colress. Those are like my two that I gravitate towards. But we got a whole bunch of trainer arts from various sets. Some cool ones in there that are worth, like that. I think at one point that Clara that I really liked was worth 20. Some more trainers. Nimona, Penny. I do have a friend in real life that looks like Penny, and every time a new Penny card comes out, I send it to them, and I'm like, nah. And they're almost a little annoyed with me at this point, but I think it's hilarious. Lots of, I think this is where I put essentially Pokemon that I thought might be playable in case I needed to be able to reference them. So this is like no longer cards that are necessarily valuable or interesting. It's just cards that I had singled out as like, I might run these in some decks or something, you know? And then towards the back of this bad boy, I still need to organize these, but I'm putting together some pages of my favorites. So I've got like Hisuian Typhlosion. I feel like I was going to say that wrong. Goodra. Goodra is one of my personal favorites now. Like probably in my top 5. I love Goodra. Especially Hisuian Goodra. Even got like Goomies and stuff. It's prior evolution. Cubone Marowak. So this is, I did mention this earlier. Snom Kid, who I referred to, drew me a custom Cubone. So you can kind of see it, but they made me a 1-of-1 Cubone. And I thought that was really cute. So it was nice of them. I put that in my number 1 Cubone slot. And then I've got a whole bunch of like just different art versions of like Cubone and Marowak. Because Cubone and Marowak are my favorite. So, you know, a whole bunch of Marowaks you can see. This is like the current Marowak. That's the Marowak from a couple sets ago, and then it goes from there. And then I don't think I've put many of them in here yet, but I am working on tracking down as many Alolan Marowaks as I can find, because he's one of my personal favorites. Alolan Marowak is awesome. And then, of course, Slowbro. We've got Galarian Slowbro, Galarian Slowking, regular Slowbro, shiny Slowbro, dark Slowbro, Slowbro GX, no, EX. Like, I really love I almost feel like if I top 3, probably Cubone, Slowpoke, Goodra. Probably. Like, there are other Pokemon I love and adore. Like, I have, obviously, Squirtle will always be one of my top favorites. Cubone is, I don't know how to show that one. It's on my wrist. Cubone with Bowser here. It's my number 1. But, dude, I think Cubone, Slowpoke, Goodra. For some reason, that's become my top 3 recently. These are some, like, I would argue competitively playable cards. So we've got like some Dragonites, Raikou, Arceus, Palkia, Luxray, Drapion. These are all cards that have actually, like, they're being played in one deck or another. Some of these may have just rotated off. I'm not sure. I'll have to look through that. But this is just a page of like decent playables. And then this is a picture that a kid drew for me with a Master Ball, and him, me, and another kid. I thought it was really cute. That's my collection binder. And then my trade binder. My trade binder is decimated, unfortunately. I haven't been keeping it up. I've got like a golden Charizard worth like 20 or 30 bucks. The Mew is a promo. I mean, it's sparse. I'm not gonna lie. My trade binder is looking kind of sad. Like, it's got some staples, it's got some decent stuff, but it's no longer exciting to, like, at one point this binder was full to here, like 3 to 5 pages further back. So I'm gonna have to reorganize this, which I'm not looking forward to. Reorganizing binders is one of the most tedious and time-consuming, unfun parts of card games, in my opinion. Whew. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I have a little bit of a sore throat. And it is almost 10 p.m. We went live a little bit after 2, which means we have officially done our first full stream probably in years. I'm going to guess that if I look at other streams I've done over the course of the last few years, most of them did not go longer than a few hours. So, yay, I guess. I don't know. Woohoo. Anyways, thank you to everybody who did. Hey, Eddie. Thank you to everybody who did take time out of your day to hang out with me today. I don't want to worry anybody. I'm in a real dark place. But I think I'll be okay. It was nice to catch up. You know, touch base with some people. Play some Pokemon. Open some cards. Do some stuff. Educate some people. Etc. As far as like opening a booster pack experience goes, as I mentioned, for anybody who missed it, we got 2 Ace Spec cards. And not only did we get 2 Ace Spec cards, we got the 2 that I pointed out. There's like 6 or 7 of them, and I was like, I want the Cape and the Master Ball. We got the Cape and the Master Ball. So as far as Ace Spec cards go, it literally could not have gone better for me. Didn't pull any golden rares. And the illustration rares that we got were not necessarily the ones we wanted. But that's okay. You can't get... If you opened everything you wanted, it wouldn't be a card game, right? So, shout out to the AA spec pull. I'll be very, very interested to see if any of my friends have also pulled 2 of them from one box. So, guys, I got a sore throat. I kind of got a poo. And I adore all of you. Bye? I don't know. I'm just kidding. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I'm gonna throw this booster box opening up on YouTube, VOD-wise for your purview-ance. So feel free to watch this, check the vibe, watch the vibe shift throughout the box opening. By pack 8, I thought that it was going to be the worst box in the whole world. And then pack 9, we got an Ace Spec. And then we got another one further into the box. So it went pretty well. We got about 11 and a half, 10 and a half, 11 and a half hits-ish. 1 in 3 packs worth. It was decent. It was decent. I've had literally, I have a buddy who's opened 2 boxes. Both boxes were worse than my box. You know what I mean? Like, individually. Obviously not collectively. But, like, if you stacked his first box versus mine, mine wins. You stack his second box versus mine won. So, I do think they might have gotten... That's probably not true. I do think that they managed to pull one of the big old illustration rares, like the Walking Wake or the Gouging Fire, one of those. So, they might have gotten some solid value there. But as far as, like, hitting 2 Ace Specs in one box... Let's look up those values real quick. I want to look up the I want to look up real quick just to see of the cards we hit what was the most valuable. Now I'm going to guess that it was the Master Ball. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm intrigued to see what it actually is. I'm loading it up right now, so bear with me just a second here. Okay. Most valuable cards in the set. The illustration rare Future Ancients. We did not get any of those. That's okay. It looks like Iron Crown, the Psychic one, is currently the most valuable. Followed by Raging Bolt, Iron Leaves, Walking Wake, the one I wanted, Gouging Fire, the other one I wanted, and then the least valuable being Iron Boulder. So we didn't get any of those. That's okay. Those were like some of the most valuable cards in the set. The most valuable trainer rare or chain or gallery card was Morty's Conviction, which features Gengar, so that kind of makes sense. Actually, let's do this. Bear with me just a second here, guys. Bum, ba, bum. Okay, so this is the TCG player price guide for Temporal Forces. You can see I'm just kind of generally looking through and seeing these are all the illustration rare, future, ancient, and you can see they're worth like 50 to 100 bucks. So it's pretty nutty. The only one that's worth considerably less is that Iron Boulder, which is ironically the one I need, which is in a weird way I'm happy about, because if the one I want is the cheapest, I can get it easier. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you want the card you play to be more valuable, but at the same time, if I can get the illustration rare I want two of these. I'll be honest, I want two of these. So when the price cools down to like $10-ish each, I might get a few. Maybe. So, good and bad when the one you want is cheaper than the others, but that's okay. The most valuable trainer or supporter illustration rare in this set, one of them at least, Bianca's Devotion. We didn't pull that. That's okay. I wasn't really worried about getting that one. I do have a buddy who pulled a Prime Catcher. So it looks like the Prime Catcher is currently the most valuable ace spec card. You can kind of see pretty easily the pink cards popping out. And it looks like it's currently worth about 30 bucks, which is really impressive, honestly. $30 for a pink card. And I have a buddy who pulled this one. So good for them. I'll let them know, like, oh snap, my buddies pulled the most valuable ace specs, and then I pulled the exact ones I wanted, which is kind of like, which would you rather have? Would you rather just get the best card in the set because then you can sell it or trade it for what you really want, or do you guys prefer to pull the cards you want? I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. Okay. So again, we're just kind of recapping rough value. Did we get $100 worth of value from this booster box? I don't think we did. Maybe. As you guys can see, Ghastly was one of the illustration rares I was hoping to pull. We didn't get one. That's okay. It's like a $20 card. Walking Wake was my number one pick. You guys probably heard me. I kept saying, oh, I hope we get Walking Wake. I hope we get Walking Wake. I hope we get Walking Wake. It's like a $60 card. So the fact that I got two ace specs, I can't feel too bad about not hitting one of the illustration rare future ancients, because that second ace spec probably took that spot. So it's okay. It's okay. I really would have loved to get in Walking Wake. Eventually, I will own at least one copy of this card, but I'll probably have to wait until the price cools down a bit. And the other one I was hoping for was this guy, Gouging Fire. Now, we did get a regular Gouging Fire right here. Just the normal old regular guy, not full art, not nothing. Which is good. I wanted to have at least one copy, but come on. Look at the jungle, look at the art, look at the vibrance, the plant life, the contrast between the green and the red. That's a gorgeous card. Like, I also would love to own at least one copy of that. Now, my buddy pulled Raging Bolt, which I will be perfectly honest, looking at these cards, I would not have guessed that that would be the second most valuable. But that's cool. Now, as far as the cards we actually did get, we did pull an Iron Crown X full art, which is currently sitting at about 12, 13 bucks. That'll probably cool down to 10-ish. We did pull the Hero's Cape, which we were hoping for, which is worth about 12 bucks. I think this will cool off to the like $8 to $10 range, but it was the one I wanted. It was literally the main ace spec card I was hoping for. And not only that did I get the Hero's Cape, I also got the Master Ball, which was my second choice, which is down here. So Hero's Cape, we'll say 10 bucks. We'll say 10, 10, and then Master Ball is also sitting at 10. Cool. So we've hit roughly $30 in value in those cards. I did see somebody pull this Golden Walking Wake. I talked about it earlier in the stream, but a Magic the Gathering player at my shop purchased 2 packs, and he pulled one of these, and I was like, that's one of the ones I want, but it's fine. Sawsbuck is one of the ones I said I wish I'd gotten. I didn't get that one. Wait. Why? Okay, I'm going to have to read into why Iron Crown is worth so much. Attacks used by your future Pokemon, except Iron Crown X, do 20 more. I'm going to be very interested and intrigued to see what deck that is. It sounds like this is like the main part of a deck. If the normal one is $10, that's a good card. So I'm going to have to keep my eye on that. Because didn't I say I got the illustration, or I got the full art, right? Yeah. So I may need to keep that. Because that's apparently a pretty decent card. Cool. Now we did pull an Explorer's Guidance. So this is currently sitting at about $7, $8. I do think that'll drop to like more like the $3 to $5 range. So for now, we'll just call it 5. I'm just trying to get like rough approximation. So we'll say we're at 35. This one, I'm just looking for the cards we actually pulled. I did get one of these Snoms, and I gave it to Snom Kid already. We pulled a Reniculus, so this is unfortunately not really worth anything. It's $3. It'll probably be worth only $1 or $2 by the time supply kind of proliferates. But I think I have a friend who might like this card, so I'm at least somewhat thankful that I might have a friend who wants this. So we're just going to call that. I almost wouldn't even factor that into the value of our pulls because it's only worth $2-3 bucks. But if we have another $2-3 card, we'll all right. Grottle, there you go. So we did get the illustration rare Grottle. We'll say those two together could be worth $5. So now we're sitting at 40. Currently $40 in card value, and we've already covered the best ones we got. I don't think we got our value this box, guys. Lickitung, nada. Salvatore, nada. Farigiraf, nothing. Yeah, these Gouging Fire, Gengar, not really worth nothing. What have I not seen on this list yet? We looked at the Master Ball. We looked at the Hero's Cape. Lickitung, Reniculus, Grottle, Guide, Salvatore. That's everything, guys. I just went from feeling good about 2 ace specs to feeling not so good. Like 50-ish? 10, 10. 30. 40. Yeah, guys, I think we only really pulled about $50 worth of hits. Now, granted, I will say I have a giant pile of cards here, and those are theoretically worth a bit. I could have $100 worth of value in this box. I don't know. But to give you guys some context, would I recommend buying a box of Temporal Forces? No. Buy the singles you want. Wait 2 or 3 weeks and just buy the cards you want. If the best cards in the entire set are only these guys, these illustration rare ancient futures, it kind of feels like if you don't get one of those in a box, you didn't do well. And we did not. Unfortunately, the illustration rares that we got were not valuable. We got the Lickitung, we got the Reniculus, and we got the Grottle. And those just really, as far as illustrations rare go, these suck. These are all like $1 or $2. So that's unfortunate. The values of Pokemon cards is really wacky because from one set to another, you can't just say an illustration rare is going to be worth $10. It depends on the Pokemon. It depends on how playable it is. It depends on how much people like the art. It depends on... There's so many factors that go into the value of a card that it's really unfortunate that some of these, even though they're absolutely gorgeous and the art's really cool and lovable, they just nothing. You can just buy these for $1 at a game shop a month after launch. So that's unfortunate. Really, the bulk of our good hits in this was the fact that we got 2 ace specs, 2 full art trainers, and 1 full art future Pokemon. These were essentially our best hits. 5 cards worth approximately $40. Which, I mean, that's cool, right? The fact that, hey, I'm showing you 5 cards from a brand new Pokemon card set. I'm holding $50 in my hands. That's nifty. Until you realize that I spent $100 to open 30-something booster packs. Was it worth it? Did I get my value? Entertainment-wise, maybe. I was pretty thrilled when I hit that second ace spec. I'm still thrilled that I got the exact 2 ace specs I was hoping for. But I think I should have gotten one of these. I really think I should have gotten at least one of these illustration rare future ancients. And I would have been perfectly happy getting the least valuable one, this Iron Boulder, which is worth like 25-ish. It'll probably cool off a bit. It'll probably be worth like 15 to 20 by the time things settle. But if I could just swap out one of the mediocre illustration rares I got for that guy or one of the others, that instantly would have made this feel like I did get my value. If I was holding Iron Boulder right here, or Walking Wake, or Gouging Fire, or literally any of these ancient futures, I would tell you I had a fun time with this booster box. I feel like I really got my value. I'm happy. Didn't quite make it. This is kind of like upper mid. Because thankfully, I did pull 2 ace specs I wanted and 2 full art trainers I wanted. But that's it. These 5 are the bulk of the value I got out of that box. So thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to everybody who sat through this. This is probably hitting the multi-hour mark on me just blabbering and going on side tangents and taking all this time to open these booster packs. I try my best to be educational, tell you guys which cards to keep note of, stick to the side, what I was excited for, etc. You get to see me do 2 little dancey dances when I pull these ace spec cards. I didn't know at the time they were only worth $10 each. I thought they were worth $20 to $40 each, so take that as you will. But overall, decent booster box. I've had worse experiences opening booster boxes, and I have had a better experience opening a booster box. So, upper mid. We're going to call it an upper mid. As I mentioned once before, I'll probably be throwing this VOD up on YouTube. I do have a video of me opening a box of Paradox Rift from about 4 months ago. If you feel like being entertained, go watch that video because the side of my heads are shaved. So like it's 4 months ago, but you look at it and you're like, whoa, you look like a different person. I tend to do that. I tend to shapeshift every 6 months or so.